They say big things take time, but what they don't tell you is small things done consistently create magic. Whether it is 500 rupees a month or reading 10 minutes every day, the principle is the same. Compounding works quietly and then all at once. In this episode of Tipsy Talks, we are unlocking the secret behind how small habits turn into big results. Joining me today is someone who's mastered the art of making money work for you, personal finance coach and wealth mentor, Deepak Khemani. If you've ever thought, I will start investing when I earn more, this conversation might just change how you see your future. So buckle up, because today is the day you start your compounding story. So, welcome to Tipsy Talks, Deepak Khemani. It's such an honor to have you here. With your repertoire in the financial world, it's really going to help the audience today. The pearls of wisdom that you're going to do a lot for us. So, very welcome to your show.
Happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of your program. Wonderful.
It's always a pleasure. We will start off, Deepak, straight away. Coming on to compounding. See, that's the theme of our episode today. What do you think of, compounding? When you talk of compounding, the word is thrown around the world a lot. But most people like me don't really grasp the power and the essential of compounding. So, how would you explain the term compounding in the most simple way possible to the audience?
Well, thank you. Thank you for asking me that question. And whenever any program starts, and if it is compounding, money, investing, finance related, you cannot but not quote Warren Buffett, the most famous investor and one of the richest people of our times.
Right.
He quotes Einstein saying that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. The one who understands it earns it. The one who doesn't pays it. Okay? So what does he say? He says, we are all aware of the seven wonders of the world, and they are called so because they were made and designed in such a way that it is difficult to comprehend that something like this is possible. Now, we were in school, somewhere in the fifth or sixth standard, a formula for compound interest was given to us. All of us remember that, but we remembered it only for giving that exam in school. Once we came out of school, we came into real life and, everybody forgot about it. So I will take you back to two instances in school. One is this compound interest formula. What does this say? So let's start with a very simple example. I have got 100 rupees and I go to a bank and I give them 100 rupees and I tell them, keep this money for 10 years. Let's make it simple and assume that the bank says, I will give you 10% interest.
Right.
So 10% on 100 rupees is 10 rupees. You get 10 rupees every year. Over a period of 10 years, you got 100 rupees as interest and your original 100 rupees. At the end, you got 200 rupees. Everybody is very, very happy. However, if I go and tell the bank, don't give me this 10 rupees every year, keep on reinvesting it. Right. So at the end of 1 year, your 100 is 110. At the end of 2 years, your 110 has now become 121 because now you are getting interest upon interest.
Yeah.
If I keep on doing this every year for 10 years, now my 100 instead of becoming 200 has become 256.
Fantastic.
Let's twist it a little. I go to the bank and I tell them, don't give me interest every year. Don't give me 10 rupees at the end of 1 year. Give me 5 rupees at the end of 6 months. Bank says, fair enough. And if I keep on reinvesting this and I keep on getting interest on interest, now my 259 becomes 265.
Oh.
The message here is, if you give time to anything to multiply, it compounds.
Right.
Okay? So if I give time to my money, it compounds into wealth. If I give time to health, if I exercise daily, I'm on a 10 kg weight loss mission. Okay. And I run 2 kilometers today and I come and stand on the weighing scale. What I have lost 200 grams.
Yeah.
Now I am on a 10 kg weight loss mission. I have to lose 50, 100 grams every day, day by day. And suddenly at the end of the period, you've lost 10 kgs. So if you give time to exercise, it becomes health. Give time to your friends, your relatives, your family, and it becomes relationships. So you give time to money, it becomes wealth. You give time to exercise, it becomes health. You give time to friends and family, and it becomes relationships. Everything in this world is about time. Time is the biggest multiplier. So if I want the compound effect, I have to give time to whatever I am doing. That was part one of
Okay.
compounding.
Right.
The other part was, we heard about the word compound in our chemistry lab, in our chemistry class.
That's right.
Compound told us that there are two different atoms. If they mix together, find make something which is totally different. So two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen becomes water. Now, if I drink hydrogen two cups and I give 1 cup of oxygen to myself, it will never become water.
Yeah.
But when the compounding happens, these two combine together and water happens.
Yeah.
There is salt, NaCl. We all remember the formula.
Absolutely.
Sodium combined with chlorine becomes salt. I can't take a little bit of sodium and a little bit of chlorine and it will become salt. No.
uh,
So this is what compounding does. It creates
right.
something so powerful, so wonderful, so unimaginable that it is very, very important for all of us to understand why it is called magic or why it is called compounding the eighth wonder. That is what promoted me or pushed me to write this book,
Excellent.
Compounding the Eighth Wonder. There, Deepak Khemani, and
Excellent.
it became a bestseller on the day it was launched. That was 5.5 years ago.
Excellent. Deepak, I'll be very glad to share the link of the book with everyone. And I truly, really appreciate the definition as relates to relationships of compounding. I never thought about it from that angle. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful analogy that you have crafted there. Excellent.
Uh,
All right. Now, let me ask you a little personal question. What made you personally so passionate about having people understand personal finance and compounding?
Wonderful, great question again. So I was born into a family when my dad was already an investment advisor, and I'm talking of 1966.
Right.
In 1966, there were only two investments. You either did a bank FD or you did an LIC policy. There was nothing else.
That's right.
So my dad was in this profession, and that is what he kept on doing. The day I became 18, he
Right.
picked up my hand and he said, "Let's go to LIC office. And from today, you are also a life insurance advisor. You are also a finance guy." Now, my actual educational qualification is I'm an electronic engineer. That is by choice.
Right.
However, this additional qualification of becoming a finance person or financial advisor came as something which is as a legacy, as something which is hereditary. It was there in the family.
Right.
So now the idea is, ever since I was small, there was this urge or there was this push inside me to excel at whatever you do.
Right.
So the very first class of my life, when I was in the first standard, I stood first in my school in all the divisions. So
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
remember that because in those days you used to get a mark sheet and the principal used to sign congratulations. He used to call the parents to the office and shake hands. And those were the days when we were in school. So that is something we will never forget in life. And that has become a habit.
Okay.
So when we entered this financial advisory space, you have to give exams. And the idea is to learn everything in a way where if I learn it well, I will be able to explain it well to someone. That is where the excellence habit came in. Now, it happened 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Beyond the point, you reached a point where everybody came and met you and started asking you advice.
Okay.
When you are an insurance advisor or you are a seller, you are basically selling something. You are going and telling, regulator sir, एक पॉलिसी ले लीजिए काम में आएगा या ये अच्छी इन्वेस्टमेंट है, this is something good for you, buy. There came a time when people started coming and asking and making you a consultant, which means they respected your knowledge, they respected your abilities, which means I no longer need to go and push or tell somebody this is good for you. People were coming with their financial problems, with their family problems and asking help. That is when one realized, okay, I have probably a gift, I have some experience, and I can help guide people. That is when, after starting out as a distributor or a salesperson, we
Right.
moved into a space where you are now advising people, advising families what to do with their money.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Deepak, tell us, one particular incident in your life wherein you felt the powerful impact of compounding.
Yeah. So everything that we do. So again, one very famous example of compounding is the example of the bamboo tree.
Okay,
The Chinese bamboo, when you plant the seed, it does nothing for the first year. It means the seed doesn't even come out of the ground. It sprouts inside, but it doesn't come out of the ground. So for the first year, it does nothing. For the second year, it does nothing. For the third year, it does nothing. For the fourth year, it does nothing. And you are wondering, I am being, giving time and sunshine and effort and water, and I'm, taking so much care of this plant, and it refuses to come out of the ground. But in the fifth year, it rises 60 feet in 6 to 8 months.
right.
So all that energy, all that momentum that was stored inside comes out bang. And in the last year, it gives you that final complete result. Let me now relate that with the example you gave.
Okay.
It is slightly long, but it is really, really a good example. I get to give this wherever I speak.
Right.
So, sometime in 1995, HDFC Bank came out with its IPO.
Okay.
First time it issued shares. It was a new company in 1995. And we didn't know a lot about the share market, what it does, why, what. But because it was HDFC Bank, we were five people in the family, and all of us applied. And luckily, by God's grace, we were allotted 100 shares each. So we now have 500 shares of
Okay.
HDFC Bank.
Okay.
And it listed at 30 rupees.
Okay.
10 ka 30. In less than a month, 10 rupees became 30 rupees. So a friend walked by and said, you know what, you've got 500 shares. 5,000 has become 15,000 rupees. Sell it, book your profit. This is 1995.
Okay.
And I told him, 15,000 mein kaun sa hum ghar kharidenge? What do you get in 15,000? Just let it be.
Let it be. Okay.
1995, we let it be.
Okay.
The 10 rupee share became a 1 rupee share. It got split, if you understand that. So instead of 5,000 shares, you now have 500 shares, you now have 5,000 shares.
Okay.
Just 2 months back, they gave a 1:1 bonus,
Okay.
which means now I have 10,000 shares of HDFC Bank.
Okay.
And HDFC Bank current price is 1,000 rupees.
Wow.
So 1,000 rupees into 10,000 shares is 1 crore rupees. 5,000 rupees in 1995 has
Nice.
become 1 crore rupees by doing nothing. I did not do anything. I just planted that seed and I waited and waited and waited and waited. And that bamboo tree, just now has gone up so high where I can today stand up and say, you know what, I'm financially free. I don't need to work for money. My money is working for me, but it has taken 30 years. So the one lesson is compounding takes time. Compounding doesn't happen in a month. It doesn't happen in a year. It
Right.
takes decades.
Right, right. Why do you think this be the case? I truly understand. And another facet which comes out from your conversation, the incident that you just narrated, is that the earlier you start, the better, right? 30 years, who's going to wait for कि कौन जीता है तेरी जुल्फ के सर होने तक?
Exactly.
So the earlier you
Exactly.
begin, the earlier you start reaping the dividends of compounding, right? If that be so, if it is so simple, why do people, always tend to underestimate compounding, even though it's so
Yes.
powerful?
Wonderful. Wonderful. Another great question. So the way compounding works is it is not a staircase. It is not a step by step. It's not like a fixed deposit where you put 5% every year or 8% every year and assured. Compounding is a roller coaster,
Right.
which means it will go up at some point, it will come down, and it will go up and then it will come down again. And this volatility will keep on happening. If I want to benefit from compounding, I have to ride this roller coaster. I have to stomach that volatility. We all know when we go up a roller coaster, especially when it is coming down, the feeling we get in our tummy, a lot
Absolutely.
of people don't want to go there. That has not only to be endured, it has got to be enjoyed too. Once you endure it and you enjoy it, the final result is incredible. I mean, it's incredible.
Okay. Okay. All right. Also, Deepak, I've heard a lot of friends, who believe that a lot of money is needed before you actually start investing. कि अभी तो मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं है यार, तो why should I even look up, the Economic Times or the financial section of the Times of India. So how would you respond to that kind of a mindset? Is a lot of money required to actually begin your investment journey?
Let me be very, very frank that this is the same thought I had in my mind when I was starting my financial journey.
Right.
I remember when we were small and we really come from humble backgrounds. And I can give you two or three examples of the humble background we were from. I remember when we were children, where we were in school, KG, first and second class, my father used to open the cupboard and inside the safe, there used to be pencil, eraser, and chalk.
Okay.
Inside people's safe, there used to be money, but in our house when we were growing up,
Okay.
पेंसिल चौक और रबर सेफ में पड़ा रहता था. वो जब एक पेंसिल खत्म होती थी, डैडी यूज्ड टू ओपन द सेफ एंड गिव अस this is your next pencil or this is your next eraser. That is where we are coming from. And imagine at that time we are thinking, how will we start our investing journey? But I remember very clearly, ever since I was small, we had, I'm sure you will also agree to this. Those were the days when, parents, they always taught us to save for a rainy day. They
Correct.
had seen difficult times post partition. All of us know those stories of our
Correct.
parents
Correct.
and grandparents and the 62 war, 71 war. So they came from a place where they knew the importance of saving or putting aside just that little bit of money always. So even when we were growing up, that habit to keep just a little bit aside, be it 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupees, and all of us start with that typical piggy bank. And I remember starting in a piggy bank, that piggy bank got full, and dad said, let's break it. And when it broke, a few coins and notes came out, and he said, give me the money, I'll put it in the bank.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to that money in the bank, but it went and got saved somewhere so that it may grow. That is where the habit of starting small happens. I can even tell you today, the very first SIP I started for myself was a 2000 rupee SIP. Now, 2000 rupees is actually nothing. And I'm talking of 15, 18 years ago. But just to give yourself that habit that no, every month I need to keep some money aside, some money invested, which I will not touch.
Touch.
This is the problem, which I will not touch. What happens is whether you put some small money aside or some big money aside, when there is volatility, when there is some up and down, that fear comes into mind and we tell ourselves, chalo yahan se nikal dete hain. Let's remove it and let's put it in a safe. That is a mistake all of us make. We also made that mistake, learned from it, and now we tell all our clients and our people who connect with us that, you know what, when you're keeping money aside, assume it's gone. It's not there. You are not going to touch it. You are
Touch
not
it.
going to withdraw it.
Yes. Yes.
That is the only way you can benefit from compounding.
Okay. All right. One last question before we, dig deep into the concept of compounding. You already actually, told us about the impact of the bamboo growing over, 6, 7 years. So tell us a little more detail about what role does time play in the whole act of compounding journey as compared to the
Yeah.
amount you invest.
Yeah. Again, so the compounding formula is ends with brackets raised to n. N is the number of years. N is the time you are giving to whatever you are doing. Of course, compounding is always associated with money, and I gave you that example of having that share for 30 years and growing to a big amount. I'll
Absolutely.
give you something else which is also being discussed.
Right.
Something which happened at that same time when HDFC Bank came out with a public
Okay.
issue of 10 rupees. In October 1995, exactly 30 years ago, we are in October 2025.
Right.
The then Reliance Growth Fund was launched at 10 rupees. Okay, it was a mutual fund scheme which was launched at 10 rupees, and it told people, give me some money and I will make that money grow for you. That 10 rupees of of October 1995 is today worth 4,100 odd rupees.
Wow.
10 rupees has become 4,100, which means if somebody had invested 1 lakh in 1995,
Hmm.
that person today is sitting on 4.1 crores.
Wow.
1 lakh has become 4.1 crores. When you tell the story to people, तुमने हमको तभी बताया नहीं. I also didn't know this is going to. I also didn't know. Otherwise, I would have myself invested. We missed that bus then. But the good part about investing is the market always gives you opportunities. It means It didn't go like this: 10, 20, 40, 100, 200, 500. It
Right.
went from 10 to 30, then it fell to 15. 15 became 100, then it became 60. 60 became 400, and then it became 250 again. So it had this roller coaster ride, and every time it gave you an opportunity to enter. Luckily, we entered at some point during that journey. So we are also reaping the benefit. So
Okay.
there are so many examples of, such things where a lot of stories are shared on social media where they tell us that, that my father was an investor, but he never told us. And once he passed away and we opened his files, we found some old share certificates of Colgate and Hindustan Lever and those time of companies
Yeah.
where, those a few hundreds of that era is now worth a few crore rupees. So there are multiple stories like this going around. My real two actual stories is the one I shared.
Okay. All right. So let's now get a little deeper into the concept of compounding. For someone who's
Yeah.
just beginning their financial journey, so what are the
Yeah.
two or three small habits that they should inculcate today, which will create
Yeah.
bigger results tomorrow? Of course, as we said, there is no time. You cannot time the market as such. But then,
Nobody can.
whatever time you start, I think you should start. So tell us
Yes.
those two or three small habits that people like me can start, following now.
Wonderful. So one habit, as we have already become, easy that you have to start early. Now, how do you start early? There are two ways. I was sitting with a client of mine. He's a grandfather, and he had been blessed with a grandson.
Right.
And all of us know that grandparents love their grandchildren more than their own children.
Own children,
So
yes.
as soon as that this small fellow was born, he called up and said, "Deepak, let's come, let's plan.
Okay.
Let's do something that when this person becomes 18 years old, can we do something that he gets 100 crores?"
Okay.
Now, that was really big, really big. We have spoken to people. People have said create 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore, all that possibilities and those workings we have done. The first time this father said that, the grandfather said that, I want to plan in such a way that at 18 or 21, when he grows up, as a gift from me, he should get 100 crore rupees. That also, creates a light bulb moment for people like us.
Yeah.
There are people thinking about 100 crores.
Wow.
Is it possible? Answer is yes. Of course, it is possible. What will it require? It will require that person to be saving almost 10 lakh rupees a month.
Oh.
Almost 10 lakh rupees a month. 10 lakh rupees a month is 1.2 crores a year into
Yes.
18 years. So that is almost 20 crores. Is it possible? I asked, will you be able to put 10 crore rupees or 10 lakh rupees a month? Then reality struck. Then he said, no, 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 10 lakh rupees har mahine to kahan se aayega? Then we started, then we started and we brought him down from that 100 crores. We said, let's plan for something that is reasonable.
Okay.
Let's look at 10 or 15 or maybe even
Yes.
20. Start with 1 lakh rupees a month. Acha, we all understand the concept of inflation, which means if I am putting 1 lakh rupees today, it has some value. 5 years later, that 1 lakh won't be 1 lakh. It will probably be valued only at some 50 or 60,000 rupees. At 7% inflation, your value becomes half in 10 years. So now it also means that if I am starting something at 1 lakh rupees today, I need to bump it up every year to compensate for inflation. So
Correct.
there is something called step up investment. If I start with 1 lakh this month,
Right.
next year it will become 110. The
Right.
year next it will become 120. So
Right.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a corpus that is not only growing because I'm contributing more, but it is also inflation adjusted.
Right.
A lot of people somehow have this fascination for a 1 crore number. मेरी
Okay.
1 करोड़ की पॉलिसी लो या मेरे को
Oh,
1 करोड़ चाहिए 15 साल के बाद.
okay.
15 साल के बाद आज का जो 1 करोड़ है शायद उस वक्त का 30 lakhs भी नहीं होगा.
Mm.
तो डोंट प्लान फॉर 1 करोड़, प्लान फॉर 4 crores एटलीस्ट. ऐसा है.
Okay. Okay. All right. So going on further from there, what are the the biggest mistakes you see people around you make when it comes to compounding their wealth? Do
Wonderful.
they
So
have certain dogmas that they stick with, or certain inhibitions that they can't overcome?
yes. So one point is that however much someone teaches you, However, you may have an advisor, you may have a mentor who will tell you, don't do this. In the end, it's your money.
Right.
And there is always greed and there is always fear. And we also learned this lesson the hard way. I'll again share a story of mine. We all remember 9/11 when those planes crashed into those twin towers, and
That's right.
we were watching it live on TV. That time tragedy struck. I said, it's probably the end of the world. Planes are crashing into towers, people are dying, towers are crashing. Whatever investments are there, let's take out some money. And coincidentally, that was the time when the markets were very, very bad. So I called up my stockbroker and I told him to sell off some of my shares. Now, when markets are bad and you are selling off some of your shares, you are actually selling off, as they say, your family silver. You are selling off something which was actually good, but
Right.
because the market is bad, it has a poor valuation.
Right.
But that fear was there. No, no, things are going to, it's the end of the world. So I told him, and he said, don't sell. I said, no, 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 it is my holding, my money. You have to do what I should do. And he sold it for me. I think we got 30,000 rupees for whatever we sold on that particular day.
Okay.
I have reverse calculated this. If I hadn't sold that 30,000 on that day, 9/11,
Right.
that 30,000 today would have been some 65 lakhs.
Wow. Panic selling.
I'm saying that you have to make that mistake, only then you will learn.
Yes.
Again, I'll give you an example which all of us have gone through. When we were children, I remember when mother was, making food in the kitchen, she used to light the stove and the gas and he used to put our hand. And she used to tell us, don't put your hand, it will get burnt.
Correct.
Did we stop putting our hand? No, we actually put our hand to feel what burning is. And then we realized, हाँ मम्मी तो सही बोलती थी हाथ नहीं डालना चाहिए. So many a times, I will tell you not to sell. Your advisor will tell you not to
Uh,
sell. Business channels, experts will come. They will say this is a bad time to sell, but you will sell because of the fear. The other idea is greed. I'm
Absolutely.
sure you must be reading in the newspapers and business channels. Today, everybody wants to buy gold and silver.
Correct.
Why? Because gold is up almost 50, 60% in a year. Silver is up almost 80% plus in a year. Today, everybody wants to buy silver and gold. Why? Greed. Because it has gone up, and because in parties, in your cocktail party last evening or in your club when you were having that drink,
Uh,
somebody told you, अरे
yeah.
मैंने silver 40,000 पे लिया था अभी 1.5 लाख हो गया है. So now you have that FOMO, you have that fear of missing out. Other people are making money, I am not making money. Let me go
That's
and,
right.
and buy gold and silver.
That's right.
You don't need to buy gold and silver. Is it part of your portfolio? Have you ever thought about asset allocation? The other thing is, and hats off to our grandmothers and mothers and our wives and even probably sisters and daughters who have actually made us rich. Because every Diwali, every occasion, every birthday, every wedding, they made it a point to buy a little bit of gold throughout their journey. And when they left this world, they left it for us. And today, every Indian household, small or big, has become, paper rich at least because of the amount of gold all of us have in India.
Yeah.
So hats off to our, our women and family members. And this is one story that happens regularly with me and my wife. Ever since we got married,
Okay.
on wedding anniversary day and birthday and, something Diwali, Deepak, what are you buying for me? Bangle, gold, diamond. Why you are buying gold and diamond? Put money in a mutual fund and that will create more wealth for you. And I am setting example in front of you. Then
Yeah.
she'll tell me, but I can't wear the mutual fund account statement and go to a party. I
That
have to wear
sounds that
jewelry.
Deepak, that sounds very familiar.
तो घर घर की कहानी है. So,
Well,
this is the time when you have to say, sorry, I told you this, but you are the boss. The gold you bought today is more valuable.
all
Yeah,
right. Let's switch to another facet of compounding, which is consistency.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm a big physical or physique enthusiast. So when I go to the gym,
Wonderful.
so at
Yeah,
my age, I'm about 59 now. So my trainer, my physio tells me, "Ki, sir, this is not the time for you to build muscle. This is the time for you to,
yeah.
just keep your muscle in shape. Just keep the muscle
Be
toned."
active.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
switch to smaller weights, but then have more number of repetitions and then do that consistently, though he emphasizes that word. So how does this
Yes.
consistency fit into, creating wealth for all of us?
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. I'm sure many of us may have heard the concept of the 10,000 hour. It says that if you want to become an expert in anything, any art, any craft, any skill, you have to put in 10,000 hours to master it. So the 10,000 hour concept is nothing but a different way of saying compounding or repetition or
Right.
consistency.
Right.
Many of us somehow have not given thought to this, but let us go back to our school days again. Our school years were from standard 1 to standard 10. So we spent 10 years schooling. Every year has 365 days. Out of that, take out 52 Saturdays, take out 52 Sundays, and take out another 50, 55 public holidays. So we actually went to school for 200 days in a year. Our school was invariably 5 hours working, taking out the recess and all that. 5 hours into 200 days every year is 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours into 10 years, by the time you pass out 10 standard, is 10,000 hours.
Yeah. Excellent.
Your life has also been designed around the 10,000 hour principle.
Wow.
You have come out as a human being, someone who has studied, somebody who's ready to see the world, go to college by spending 10,000 hours in school. I'm sure if you take your practice, in the armed forces, right from the day you started till the day you became an expert or you got your badge, many of us may have actually spent 10,000 hours in that particular skill,
Right.
mastering that particular craft.
Right.
If we want to be good at anything, we have to give time. We have to spend 10,000 hours. Same is the concept with money or compounding. It's
Right.
not about hours, but it's about time.
Time.
Everything in life is about time. If I give time to whatever I do, as I said again, for the sake of repetition, give time to money, it becomes wealth. Give time to exercise, it becomes
Excellent.
health. Give time to friends and family, it becomes relation.
Excellent. Deepak, taking your cue from what you said last, I really appreciate what you said that I never thought about not compounding from that perspective at all. Let's look at the larger, broader perspective of compounding. You often maintain that compounding is just not about money; it's much, much more than that. So, how do these
Yes.
principles apply to habits, let's say health, learning, and even personal growth?
Yeah. So again, you gave your example of your trainer, telling you at this age, you are not supposed to do this, but keep on doing this in small bits and pieces regularly to maintain what you are supposed to be at. That is
Okay.
important.
Right.
So, like anything else in life, like a saving habit, if I do something every month, every quarter, every 15 days, whatever, as long as I keep on doing it regularly and allowing it to grow, it helps. Same thing with exercise, same thing with studies. We all know we went to school, we went to college. And, if I would have gone to school in the first standard and, I would have gone to my teacher and said, instead of going back, in the morning to school, I am ready to sit for 24 hours in this school. At the end of one full year or two full years, give me my 10th standard certificate. नहीं होगा ऐसा.
नहीं होगा,
So
हाँ.
थोड़ा थोड़ा करके, you have to spend some time with family, you have to spend some time in school, some time with sports, some time with friends. So
Right.
everything is all bits and pieces put
Right.
together. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. You have to fit in a small, and to solve a jigsaw puzzle, it takes time. But once it is solved fully, you have a perfectly beautiful, perfect picture or, perfect map of everything which fits in place. So life is all about compounding. Life is all about doing small things right at the right time so that the big picture which comes is a whole complete picture.
Deepak, your analogies are really wonderful. I'm really interested in going through your book, to read much more about what you're saying right now. Okay, give us one, example of some daily habit in your life which compounded and grew into something really significant today.
So ever since we were small, our mother used to make it a point to take us to satsang. You know,
Okay.
just a small spiritual time off and go and listen to our guru. And it was a habit. So it was a weekly thing where every week we used to go to satsang, spend that 1.5 hour, because as a child you are supposed to do what your mom tells you without realizing that at some point in your life it is going to be, something is going to happen. So that habit of going to satsang year on day by day, week on week, year on year, month on month, and I was 29, I think, and mother was a little worried कि इसकी शादी अभी तक नहीं हुई है, and we are searching for perfect matches and suitable brides. And I mean, it was 30 years ago, and in those days, love marriage abhi tak the in thing nahi tha, aur hum bhi, as a dutiful as a I was the only son, so you had to do what your parents told
Okay.
you to do.
Okay.
तो यहाँ देखी लड़की वहां देखी लड़की, कोई लड़की नहीं मिली, और जो लड़की मिली वो सत्संग में ही मिली. So we were also going to satsang, and they were also going to satsang, and they also wanted a boy from this satsang, and we were
Okay.
also very happy that we got somebody who's on the same path or who has the same beliefs and all that. So again, this is something that you don't realize, but at some point, I'm sure many of us believe in destiny. I am a great believer of destiny, so I believe that this was bound to happen or supposed to happen, and that is why life takes you on that path where you go and meet or go and meet your life partner, or finally reach your destination. So yeah,
I think that's nothing could be more significant in one's life than this meeting with your life partner, who eventually is going to be your soulmate for the rest of your life. All right, tell us
exactly.
one more thing, Deepak. You must have stressed about that principle of 1% every day. Something from the Atomic Habits.
Yes,
So why is that
yes,
principle so powerful?
yeah. So we all know that if I keep on improving 1% every day, by the end of the year, I'm up 30%. It's actually very, very good to hear, good to read, a great concept, but I'm not too sure it is very, very easy to practice.
Okay.
Clearly, whatever is easy won't get you anywhere. Clearly, whatever is difficult will actually be an achievement. So, I mean, you being from the armed forces clearly understand that much more than I
Yeah.
do. Having said that, the message is that try and become better every day.
Yeah.
I'm also 59 just now, and I go to events and conferences. I do my training programs. I'm a speaker. I host events. And what we've tried to do is, one, become an expert in our core area of competence, but not to miss out on what is happening in the rest of the world, which
Right.
means in today's world of AI, in today's world of artificial intelligence, keep yourself updated, keep your knowledge updated, keep your skills updated. We go and do programs where I'm talking about AI, we are designing pictures, and then we are doing PPTs and giving prompts, and there are people in the audience who are sitting in front of me who are 20, 25. They come up and tell me, sir, बाल तो सब सफेद हो गए, 59 आपकी एज हो रही है. How do you keep yourself updated? I mean, what is it that drives you to keep
Okay.
on doing this? Anybody else at 58 or 59 would decide, ठीक है, जितना चाहिए
Enough.
था कमा लिया है, now let's enjoy, go to
Welcome.
Goa, टिप्सी थोड़ा सा एक क्लास लेके एक ड्रिंक लेके शाम को दोस्तों के साथ बैठ जाते हैं. But
Absolutely.
that is not the way we were brought up. So the idea was to keep on working till the day you die. Yeah, active.
Excellent. I think that's an excellent manifestation of your quest for personal improvement, Deepak, and we really salute that. All right, let's come
Yeah.
to the last segment of this concept, the barriers people have, right? What stops most people from starting their compounding journey?
So we were speaking about Usain Bolt, and the numbers are these. Usain Bolt, for his 8 gold medals in 3 Olympics, ran for a total of 115 seconds only, 115 seconds. And he made $119 million, more than $1 million per second. So outside, it looks flashy, but very few realize that he put in 20 years of practice, come rain or shine. He was there on the track, on the field, running to perfect himself. The message goes out is this: whatever you are doing, you give time. If you are an athlete, you give time to athletics, to your running, to whatever part of athletics you are involved in. You become an expert athlete. If you are a swimmer, you give time, you become an expert swimmer. If you are a finance guy, if you study well and get that 10,000 hours of experience, you become an experienced finance guy. All our armed forces personnel give so much time. They are away from their families, and they are involved in taking care and protecting our country. Hats off to all of them. They
Correct.
become and they reach those places because they have given that much time. In compounding, whatever achievement you reach is the result, but final result is due to compounding because you gave time to whatever you are doing. So time is the most important factor when I want to compound anything.
Excellent, excellent. That was very well put. All right. So when we are coming to the end of this, the concept of compounding journey. So what is the one first step that everyone should take to begin their compounding journey?
So the first and foremost part is to start. Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for the market to fall. Don't wait when I have some money. If you today as an investor, you have an option of saving even 100 rupees. Although it doesn't mean anything, but the idea is the message being given across is you have 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 2000 rupees, 20,000 rupees. Start today.
Right.
Don't do it randomly. Have a process in place. What does it mean? Do it regularly. By having a process, at some point when you are doing an SIP or any other investment or anywhere where you are giving time to, you have to keep on doing it repeatedly, regularly. You
Right.
can't do it for 2 months, and all of us struggle with our weight loss, and I am a prime example of that. You know, just 3 or 6 months ago, I gave 3 4 months continuous to getting up, waking up in the morning, exercising, taking care, eating properly, not dieting, but eating properly.
Right.
And then suddenly 2 months came where I had to travel a lot. There were training programs, and you are eating at airport lounges and hotels, and there are buffets, and then you tend to probably overeat, and then you are in that zone. So all the effort which you had done in those first 4 6 months is gone in these 2 months. Now you are back in action, and there is this guy sitting on your head and telling you, get up, don't eat this, do this, and don't do this. So whatever journey you are starting on, to benefit from compounding, of course, you have to give time. The very important part is having an advisor, having a mentor, having a coach, someone who has done it before you, somebody who has walked the path. You gave an example of your gym trainer telling you you are not going to do this because of your age, but you can do this, this, this. You need a guide, you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need an advisor. If you have that, then you are doing your things repeatedly, you are giving it time, you are going to be in the top 1% of the world. You are there because the other 99% either don't know about it or are too lazy to follow what you are saying.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. That's an excellent piece of advice. And with that, Deepak, we come to a very exciting round in our episode. I'm going to shoot 10 rapid fire questions at you. And you're going to give me answers in SIPs and not in long term investments. Very small, yes, but effective ones, right?
Yes,
The session is called Tipsy's 10. And are you
yes.
ready for the first one?
Done. Let's go.
All right. The first one coming your way. The first financial lesson you ever learned in your life.
Think long term.
Okay. The next one, SIP or long sum? What is your pick? And what would you advise to everybody else?
For someone who's starting out SIP.
Okay. Next one book which everyone should read on money, apart from your book, that of course I'm going to recommend.
The answer was my book, but then you said apart from your book. Okay. There are so many books. Then there isn't one book, but the most famous book today about from Morgan Housel, The Psychology of Investing. Read that. Yeah.
All right. There's something called Psychology of Money also. That book is also there.
Psychology of Money. Sorry, I'm missing. I mixed it up. Psychology of Money.
Psychology of Money. All right. Because it's there and it's lying in my bookshelf. Okay, the next one. A financial myth you would want to bust forever.
Hmm. There is no such thing as quick money.
Okay, I think that's a very practical one in today's time. A lot of frauds and things will come to an end if people start believing in this. All right.
Uh,
The next one. If compounding were a person, how would you describe it in one word?
my father.
Okay, I think that's an excellent example. It's an excellent
My
example.
father.
I couldn't give a better answer. All right. The next one. Your guilty pleasure purchase. I we already know about gold, which Bhaviji asked you to purchase. Something beyond that.
Uh, I really don't have a single answer to this because there is no one thing which I can immediately recollect. But since you said this can't be a long form question, so it is a little difficult to answer this.
Oh, all right. So we'll skip that one. All right. The next one. One money mistake people often tend to make.
Don't keep too much money in the bank.
Okay. All right. Next one. One habit you swear by personally.
Exercise.
Okay.
If you don't have a fit body, no amount of money is going to help.
Excellent. I think that's quite a unique advice, coming from a financial coach and an investment mentor. Very nice. Okay, the next one. If you could give your 25-year-old self one money tip, if you go back 25 years and give yourself one tip, what would that be?
Interesting. Those days were different. However, the value, I mean, the message is timeless. Put money in inflation beating assets.
Okay, okay. I think that's a very practical and very pertinent one. Okay, we come to the last one. One action the audience can take away today to change their future.
Start today, start right now. Reach out to someone who is a financial advisor, somebody who's good, somebody who can be referred to, somebody from your family or friends, and who has a proven track record of having managed money for others. Start today. Reach out. You need the guide and the advisor is very, very important. See, when you are investing in money in mutual funds, property, it's the same thing. There are so many properties in the same place. Mutual fund schemes are so many. They are all investing in the same market. It's your advisor who tells you where to invest and where not to invest.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. With that, we come to the end of the rapid fire round, Deepak. And it was such an exhilarating, entertaining, and informating, interaction with you over the last 30-35 minutes. And I'm very, very sure the audience would have imbibed the values that you've given them. And, your sense of broader perspective. I thought compounding, we're going to only be restricted in talking in terms of money, compounding wealth.
Yes.
But then your
Yeah.
of now getting into the mental health, relationships, and the physical health
Yeah.
are fantastic, and I really, really, really love that. All right, as we come to the end of this episode, if someone is listening today in the audience with a very keen ear towards you, what is the message, the lasting message that you would like to leave with him or her?
The one message is we were all born to be financially free. For some reason, we got stuck somewhere in our, when we were growing up, or the money lessons we heard from our parents, or what we saw other people think and do. You don't need 100 crore rupees to become financially free. Depending upon where you are and depending upon your needs. I tell a lot of people, because my needs are small.
Right.
Today I can stand up and say and announce to the world that I am financially free. I don't have 100 crore rupees. I don't even have 50 crore rupees. I may not even have 20 crore rupees. But what I have is more than sufficient to take care of my today's needs and my future needs, which I can visualize. So if I have that much, I'm very happy in the place where I am.
Excellent, excellent. Deepak, I think this advice will go a long way in shaping a lot of people's financial future, And I, on behalf of the entire audience of Tipsy Talks, thank you for your valuable time. I know you've been very, very, very busy, and it was, I've been very lucky to pull you out from your busy schedule and give some time to us and share the pearls of wisdom that you have done. So, thank you so very much. And in case you agree, we would like to have you on the show again.
Oh, most definitely. Happy to be back. Oh, yes.
Giving us a little more insight into the world as you see it. Thank you so very much.
As thank you for inviting me. And before we close, as Lokmanya Tilak said, independence is our birthright. I'm telling you, people, everyone, financial freedom is our birthright, and you will get there.
Excellent.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Thanks a lot. There are 3 key takeaways from this episode. Number 1, start small, start now. You don't need a big amount to begin. What matters most is the time and consistency. Even 500 rupees a month invested regularly can grow into something significant over the years. Remember, it's not how much you start with, it is about starting. Number 2, compounding is a mindset, not just a math formula. Compounding applies not just to money, but to habits, health, and personal growth too. Small daily actions repeated over time create exponential results. Remember, tiny steps done daily become giant leaps over time. And number 3, consistency beats perfection. The biggest barrier is not starting or stopping midway. Stay the course, automate your habits, and let time do the heavy lifting. Remember, the magic is not in the amount, it's in staying consistent long enough to see it work. If there is one thing this conversation has made crystal clear, it's that you don't need to wait to make your future bigger. Just need to start, even if it's tiny. Compounding rewards patience, consistency, and courage. Whether it's your money, your mindset, or your daily habits, small steps done today shape the life you will live tomorrow. A huge thank you to Deepak Khemani for breaking this down so beautifully and reminding us that wealth in any form is built one habit at a time. If this episode gave you that little nudge to start, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who really needs to hear it too. I'm Tipsy Vadhava, and this was Tipsy Talks, where real conversations lead to real growth. Your compounding journey starts now. So until next time, stay focused, stay invested, and as always, stay thoda sa tipsy. Jai Hind.